Dodgers and A's ready to play the final game of this quick 2-game series. Before the first pitch, we go to the field, brought to you by El Pollo Loco with the birthday girl. Happy birthday, Alana Rizzo.
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that very much. And let's get out of here with a short series sweep and a happy flight to Denver. The Dodgers did something last night, guys, that they haven't done that much this season. They won in a 4-2 ball game without hitting a home run. In fact, this year they're 14-22 when they don't go yard. However, when they hit the long ball, a great record of 49-29. Last night, all 4 runs, a bit of small ball and manufacturing that offense, guys.
All right, Alana, first time since the opening few days of the season they've not hit a home run, but still able to win 2 of those 3 games. Setting up a chance at a mini sweep tonight over the Oakland A's, who have not lost back-to-back games at home, by the way, since early June, before this current 33-11 run they're on, where they have the best record in baseball.
It's a feisty young team, and they will grind it out. And with that bullpen, they always feel like they are in the game. If they're down, the bullpen shuts the opponent down, gives their chance for their offense to do well. And if the starters go short, like 2 2/3 last night, they still had a chance because the bullpen was so good.
A few day games already today. The Diamondbacks won the finale against Philadelphia, and so the Dodgers open this one tied for first. Colorado losing again. They've now dropped 6 of 8 all after a 20-6 run. So the Dodgers going into Denver after this one, facing a reeling Rockies team.
Yeah, it feels really good for the Dodgers, and for the Rockies it turns into a very important series. The closer you get to September, and here we are in August, it gets more and more important when you play those head-to-head competitions with people that you're in the race with.
Is Mike Fiers still on his way from Detroit? Where's this guy at? Here they go. Here he comes. Just acquired in a trade a couple of days ago from the Detroit Tigers. And ready to be the 13th Oakland A's starting pitcher this season. That's the second most that any team has used. Take a look at the Dodger lineup that'll face him, presented by 76. Jock Peterson to lead it off, and then Manny Machado. Justin Turner, a couple of hits last night, looked really good. He'll DH. Grandal does the catching. Brian Dozier's at second. And center field, Cody Bellinger. With Yasiel Puig in right. Max Muncy in the lineup for the first time in this series. And Chris Taylor starting at short.
Mike Fiers on the mound. His debut, of course, with the Oakland Athletics. He is a 4-seam fastball, cutter, curveball, 2-seamers, slider, and changeup, but mainly this year relying on the 4-seam fastball and the cutter. High spin rate, guys, so he likes to go up the ladder, but as he goes up the ladder, the ball does not appear to end up in the same place where you normally realize will be. It'll end up a little higher. So I think for the Dodgers, when he throws that high fastball, they've got to make sure it gets down in an area where they can handle it.
A's are getting a guy that is pitching really well. Last 7 starts, he has a sub-2 ERA. So they're hoping he can help them with their push towards an American League wildcard spot and a likely date with the New York Yankees. First man that he faces tonight will be Jock Peterson, who has led off 5 games this season with home runs, including back-to-back games on the most recent homestand.
He is becoming very, very consistent. Has always had the bat speed and the power. It was the consistency he was looking for. And now the way he is hitting, even hitting well with 2 strikes. So he has earned that leadoff spot, and he is there always now when there's a right-handed starter.
He and the Dodgers looking for a 3rd consecutive win. 10-8 since the All-Star break, facing nothing but contending teams. And that stretch continuing here tonight, and then with the 4 games in Denver beginning tomorrow. Off we go from Oakland with strike 1 from Fiers. Dodgers winning last night 4-2. Getting a single run in each of the first 3 innings, and the bullpen making Rich Hill's night hold up. On an 0-1 pitch, Peterson takes it low, 1-1. Sean Manaea's shortest outing of the season. He'd been their most reliable starter. It went only 2 2/3. And the A's bullpen was really good too. Peterson behind it, 1-2.
Fire's strategy is to throw the four-seamer for a first pitch strike and then expand the zone, and especially expand the zone up. That's a rarity when somebody throws only around 90, 91, but the spin rate keeps the ball elevated and fools the hitter.
So it's pop foul. We'll do it again. Of course, Dodger fans remember Mike Fiers from the last time that he took the ball against LA, pitching a no-hitter. In fact, the last guy that he faced in that no-hitter in August of 2015 was the first guy that he faces tonight, Jock Peterson. That was his 4th start as an Astro after they acquired him in a trade from Milwaukee that year. He deals another 1-2, and Peterson foul tips it into the glove for strike 3.
Well, the new numbers with spin rate being a differential in pitchers, not just velocity, has really put Fiers in a place where he has changed his strategy and it's become more effective.
Manny Machado comes up. Fouls off the first pitch. As you've kind of touched on, when it goes right, he gets those chases up. When it goes wrong, and just a little bit wrong, he tends to get hammered. Last 3 years, 3rd most home runs allowed in baseball, Mike Fiers. One of those came from Machado. He swings and misses here, and it's 0-2.
Well, the low velocity fastball looks really juicy to a hitter's eyes. They know they can catch up. It's just squaring it up when he hits the right spot that's hard. His average fastball this year is about 89 miles an hour, but he's a little pumped up. His first time in the Oakland uniform with the home crowd. Just touched 92.
91, and an awkward swing on it. 2 out.
Ball looks like it comes in there almost level. Never really declines at all. You just see it. The pitch track there, the
batting in the 3rd position.
jet stream behind it does not change level very much.
Justin Turner.
2 up, 2 down, and here's Justin Turner. And the A's are banking on the fact that this ballpark doesn't give up very many home runs. In fact, fewer home runs than any park in baseball. They're banking on that to play really well with what Fiers does. He's got strike 1 on Turner.
That was borderline in, borderline up, and I could see why Justin is talking about it. Good call.
Splits the plate with this one, 0-2. Turner stays alive. Working with that slightly open stance again, more so than usual. Something that he yesterday in the cage prior to the game, they're working on the kind of the side-winding arm angle that Sean Manaea uses, and he wasn't feeling great with his normal stance, so he opened it up, liked how it felt, and the swing looked great last night, so he carries it into the game tonight too. On an 0-2, it's a ground ball to short. Marcus Semien, and Mike Fiers has a 1-2-3 first inning in his A's debut. On the other side tonight, it's Clayton Kershaw. Been fantastic since the All-Star break, really since his latest stint on the DL. He's got the ball when you come back. to lead it off, and then Matt Chapman and Jen Lowry. Chris Davis with another home run last night, counting for the A's offense. Then it's Mark Canha and Matt Olson. And Piscotty, Laureano, and Lucroy round out Bob Melvin's order against Clayton Kershaw, who's sitting on 149 career wins coming into this one. And in his last 7 games, as we talked about off of the top wall, he's 4-1 with a 2.08 ERA.
He's been dominant and back to the Kershaw that we are used to seeing. But you know what? He should have a lot more than 150 wins already. In his no decisions, the 6 no decisions, he has an ERA of 2.75. And in 5 of the 6 of those no decisions, he's given up 2 runs or less. So he just hasn't gotten much support.
Simeon hits one off the glove of Machado. Taylor's throw in time, and it goes 5-6-3 to open the night.
Routine. The deflection is not the best part of this play. Chris Taylor does the second best thing, but the best place is that Max Muncy catching that. Machado had a hot one to handle off the thumb. Taylor makes a strong throw, one of the strongest arms on the Dodgers, and Muncy a nice pick.
Just how you draw it up. Here's Chapman, one of the top young players in the game, taking strike 1. Doubled last night and has now reached in 22 games in a row. One of the longest active streaks in baseball. A curve. Just misses. 1-1. As we detailed last night, Chapman, a Southern California guy from Lake Forest. On a 1-1 offering from Kershaw. He rips one down the line, base hit. Peterson was positioned that way, but it cut it off easily in a 1-out single.
It's a good piece of hitting. You can actually see his hands move slightly, and then he reads breaking ball, hesitates. See the front foot land and the hands stop.
Number 8.
Boy, that was a good piece of hitting. Locked in on the fastball, reads breaking ball, fires at it.
1 on 1 out. Here's Jed Lowry. Lowry was leading the American League batting race for a while early this season, but those numbers have gone way downhill over the last month or 2. Still, though, an all-star for the first time in his career. He's a 34-year-old. On this 1-0 from Kershaw, he takes it in the dirt, ball 2.
A lot of the offense has come from Lowry and the hot streak, like the Dodgers depended on Muncy and Kemp. Like the Dodgers are waiting for Muncy to get going again. Got a little something from Matt Kemp last night with a hit with runners in scoring position. A's need Lowry.
He's ahead 3-0.
They're going to capture the wild card. They need that guy in the on-deck circle to keep hitting home runs. They need Lowry to get on base in front of them and drive some runs in. And then continued exceptional relief pitching.
Strike 1. Start the night 5.5 back in the division behind Houston. But a 2-game lead for the second wild card spot over Seattle. After 3 consecutive last place finishes. Kershaw to Lowry with a 3-1 that's fouled off, full count. Chapman at first with one gone. 3-2. We'll do it again.
Bob Melvin electing to hold Chapman in the 3-2 count. I think if Lowry was in a place where he was on his game, they might let Chapman go here early in the game, be aggressive. But Oakland does not use the running game at all.
It's the whole philosophy of avoiding outs. Simple fundamental philosophy around here. Another 3-2 from Kershaw to Lowry. Still not running. Fly to center. Routine for Bellinger. And the second out. Up comes Chris Davis, who for the third consecutive game last night homered. 32nd of the season for the guy that's hit more than anybody in baseball the last 3 years.
He did not look good at all in that bat and at bats prior, but when he times it up, it's thunderous.
How about those numbers in yellow there? 11 home runs and 24 RBIs in his last 15 games. He takes ball one. Davis is 30 years old, originally a Milwaukee Brewer. On a 1-0 from Kershaw, he takes ball two, and Kershaw has fallen behind each of the last two hitters 2-0.
When Davis finally loads his swing, his hands kind of get behind his back shoulder, and I think his stance where he holds his hand looks awkward. You don't see anybody else do it, but he's trying to keep his hands in front of him as much as possible to have a clear path through the ball.
Jams a little pop-up into short right. Long run for Dozier, who peels off with Puig coming on. And that's that for the A's in the first. The second, we look at tonight's Land Rover Performance Spotlight. March and April, Grandal was the best Dodger hitter and then really struggled through May and June before he was one of the top hitters in baseball in July. He takes strike one from Mike Fiers. He's cooled off some here in August. Hitless in his last 11 at-bats. No balls, 2 strikes.
You look up at the end of the year, you love the totals that you see from Yasmani offensively, but how those totals are attain is a little different, a little more up and down. But you're glad to have them, because if you got a team and you're the guy filling in the gaps when everybody else is cold, that's great.
Last two have gotten away from fires, and the count evens up.
I think this Dodger offense really needs to be disciplined on anything above the belt. In some ways, he's a big-time first strike thrower, but after that, he wants to expand up.
And it sounds simple, right? But it's so hard on hitters when that thing's floating in there, belly button high, to lay off it.
It looks just like high tee work to these guys. I mean, 89, 91, 90, even 92 and straight, but it's straight as far as left to right. It's not straight of what their eyes see as far as up down. And that's front shoulder high, and he gets a piece of it, but that's any higher than that and you swing, you're probably missing it.
Another 2-2 pitch. Fades in there for strike three. First changeup we've seen him use. He's K'd 3 of the first 4.
Pulls it inside, gets the call right on the corner at 85. Not a huge change of speeds, but dropping it down 5-6 mile an hour, and also with a little two-seam tail. Very effective.
And now a guy that has seen more of Mike Fiers than any other Dodger with their histories in the American League. Brian Dozier, a couple of home runs against Fiers, and was one of the lead voices in the hitters meeting today, passing along what he'd learned in his previous meetings with Fiers. Takes a strike, 1-1. One and two. He's continued his exceptional start with the Dodgers with his performance in the opening game of the series last night with a hit and 3 walks. On base percentage in his week with a team of .565.
And #1 in the National League in slugs, so he's bringing the extra base part of his hitting with him. A couple of home runs.
Behind 1-2 here. Dribbles it foul. And regardless of those numbers, he just continues personality-wise to seem like a great fit, Dave Roberts' clubhouse.
It sure does. He is definitely a grinder, and he shows it right on his face. His body language is completely about grinding it out. Defense, you see it in between pitches. You see it with communication, the way he goes about his business pregame.
Looping line drive to short, caught by Simeon. The day that he was acquired, so July 31st, he didn't arrive until a little bit later. But Dave Roberts said he's one of us already, just with everything that he'd heard about Brian Dozier. Reputation preceded him, and his reputation was one that Dave Roberts knew would blend in well.
We got off the plane and he fought to get to Dodger Stadium. He could have easily said, I'm just going to go to the hotel. They're already in the 5th inning. He got Dodger Stadium by like the 7th, 8th inning. Came up to Dave Roberts, said, I'm ready for whatever you need.
There's Bellinger, strike 1. And Dave Roberts had said right at the start that, like with most guys on this team, he's not going to play every day. But what Dozier's doing, he's making that tough on Dave. Ball on a strike.
With the on-base percentage, you start him in the leadoff spot against lefties, and today in the 5-hole because of the slug and the consistency of driving the ball.
One and two.
lot of these Dodger hitters are going to look forward, I think, to going to Colorado. A lot of them struggling to either produce at a level they're used to or to accentuate their statistics on the year. The offense has been pretty flat other than the 21-run game. That was Kershaw's last start.
Now fires, drops in a curveball, and has Bellinger flailing at it. 6 up and 6 down with 4 Ks in his Oakland debut.
Customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Get Dodger home screen icons and features such as MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcasts, stats, news, and more. Download MLB at Bat today.
Bottom 2, no score. Marcana is 1 for 14 so far in August, and he climbs in to face Kershaw to open this inning. Strike 1. What do you think of the mock turtleneck look?
I always liked it.
Just don't see it a whole lot anymore.
Back in the day, they didn't have the embroidery of the team. They just used the mock turtle and the Dodger blue.
0-2.
All the different new materials and all the high-tech stuff with the wicking ability of your sweat or stuff that'll wick but also keep you warm. It's just a large selection of what you're going to wear under your uniform in today's game.
Kershaw with near miss, 1-2. Tried to cut that slider to the back door. So now 1-2. And a pop fly. That is way up into that darkening sky for Chris Taylor, and the first out. Well, it's been a few years, but Clayton Kershaw has faced these Oakland A's a few times in his career and always been good. Sub-1 earned run average in his 3 starts against Oakland. Although sometimes that can be misleading, and this is one of those cases, just because of how much turnover there's been on this A's roster. That's ball 1 on Matt Olson. You know, the A's had the run to the wild card game in 2014. Jed Lowry is the only guy that was on that team for that full year, and he's even gone away and come back. 1-1.
There still is the psychological effect of a ballpark and a uniform that you feel comfortable with as a competitor. But you're right, the names on the back have definitely changed.
Two and one on Olsen. The A's on June 15th were 34 and 36. And completely out of the picture. Fly to deep center. Bellinger's got plenty of room. No big deal. 2 out. And since they sent 2 games below 500, they've gone 33 and 11. Charging right back into the picture. Squarely in the postseason picture as far as the wild card goes. If not for this recent run by the Astros, where they've won 6 of 7, Bob Melvin's team is starting to knock on the door of the division even.
Exciting time for a young roster, and they're trying to finish it off. They've been 1 and out when they've been in the playoffs in that wild card spot.
Strike 1 on Stephen Piscotty.
They could be very dangerous to play for 1 game. Especially with the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning getting locked down.
Yeah. It's hard to like them too much in a series just when you're lining up the starting pitching. But you're right. You get a lead in 1 game. Scary.
Well, if they get into a series, they're going to have to get 1 really good start out of somebody out of the first 3, and then the other 1 that they win 2 out of 3, the bullpen really cover up. It's about their only formula.
Fly the other way for Puig, and Kershaw with a 1-2-3 second. To the 3rd we go in Oakland. No score. Years old out of Hollywood, Florida, off to a good start in an A's uniform, 6 up and 6 down. And he'll face the bottom 3rd of the order here in the 3rd with Yasiel Puig to lead things off. Yanks the first pitch into the leaping glove of Simeon at short.
Yasiel almost gets the barrel on it, jams him a little bit. Simeon, this is not about how high you jump as much as it is about timing it. The ball was coming down. He timed it perfectly.
1 gone, and Max Muncy making his return to Oakland, where he opened his career in 2015 and 16. Back and forth between the majors and the minors those 2 seasons. Was not nearly the player that He's shown he can be here in his first year with the Dodgers. Although Max at a point right now where he's hoping to get back to that guy he was during the first half. Takes just off of the plate. It's 1-1.
Had a very classy reaction to the questions after he started to build the ammo with the statistics as a Dodger of what happened in Oakland. Well, he took some of the blame. Said, I'm not the same hitter. I'm much more confident now. So the only thing that really kind of hurt a little bit is I would be hot in AAA. They'd call me up and I wouldn't get in the game or get my first pinch hit appearance for 5 days or a week, and then all of a sudden I'd get a start and I'd just be out of my rhythm. But I wasn't the same hitter, same mechanics. It wasn't the same guy, and I didn't have the same confidence. So I really can't blame them. It was a very classy response after starting to build a resume in a Dodger uniform.
And that C word, confidence, is the big one. It's what he had during the first half. It's what he's lacking some of right now. Waiting on a 2-2 pitch. Check swing foul. Let's check in with Alana.
Guys, quick conversation earlier today with Max Muncy about where he is offensively and the challenges that he has faced since the All-Star break and that home run derby. He said the thing is, looking at the video, I know it's nothing mechanical. It's one thing if you can say, hey, I need to move the position of my hands, or I need to have my feet in the box a little bit different. He said this time it's all mental, and sometimes it's really hard to get out of his own head, but he does feel close.
Out in front of a changeup here. 2 gone on the 5th K already for Fiers. Time now for Built for Baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. And Fiers doing what he did last time he saw the Dodgers, August 21st, 2015, and what was his 4th start in the Houston Astros uniform. The only no-hitter in Minute Maid Park history. There are 3 Dodgers in the lineup tonight that were in the lineup that night. Peterson, Turner, and Grandal, all of whom struck out first time through. Ball 1 on Chris Taylor. That's foul.
It's a little worrisome for me. Not that Fiers is pitching so well, but the Dodgers are striking out so much. This is not his game. His game is strike 1, pitch to contact, and pitch really well with runners in scoring position. He is not a strikeout pitcher.
The Dodgers before the last week or so had not been a strikeout lineup. The Astros racked up 41 Ks in those 3 games. Fiers racking them up so far tonight.
The offense functioned a little better last night. You got to hit 2 hits with runners in scoring position, Bellinger and Kemp. He scored on a ground ball to third. And then you also had the safety squeeze that worked, and one other that didn't work. It was a well-rounded team effort.
Comes a 1-2. And Taylor leaves that one up. 2-2. Taylor takes this one, and he's worked the count full. Dodgers looking for a 3rd consecutive win. Chance to sweep this short series with the A's. With a 4-2 win last night. On a 3-2 to Chris Taylor. Got him swinging. And Mike Fiers, whose season high is 8 Ks, has 6 of them once through the order.
Election Tuesday, August 14th at 7:10 when the boys in blue host those rival Giants from right across the bay here. The first 40,000 fans in attendance will receive a Rich Hill bobblehead presented by Security Benefits. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Bottom three, no score. Clayton Kershaw delivers. And Ramon Laureano just made his major league debut last week, fouls it off. In his debut game, Oral, he got his first hit, an extra innings walk-off hit. Welcome to the bigs.
Kyle Farmer-esque?
Yeah. Chops one off of the hands. Taylor's already shown off his arm once. Has to again with the way that Laureano runs. One gone in the third.
That was one of the best backstage Dodger features. Kyle Farmer beating the Giants in extra innings. Parents decide to miss their plane and stay just in case he gets a chance. Cameras on everybody. Great interviews.
Jonathan Lucroy, and you see there in yellow, or 1 for 20 against Kershaw. Goes to show you how much they value Lucroy's ability to catch that side of things. Bowen.
Lucroy and Fires teamed up together in Milwaukee for 45 starts, or 45 appearances at least. So they felt really good about the scouting report from Lucroy as far as the person and the tenacity of the veteran. You feel like all of a sudden, if you're a general manager making that deal, that a guy coming in to pitch for you when he's thrown to a catcher he likes and knows that he's going to adapt a lot quicker and produce for you.
He's ahead of Kershaw 2-1. So all those things outweigh the 1 for 20 in Bob Melvin's eyes. Veteran catcher Jonathan Lucroy takes a well-placed strike 2-2. The good atmosphere in here tonight. Not quite what it was without the full Pantone 294 collection. Full count. What a good vibe again.
And a lot of blue
again. Yeah.
Get out of my brain.
Get out of mine. Got a couple tweets from people who listened to us and actually did make the drive up from Southern California for tonight. A payoff pitch. Lucroy hits it hard. Backhand Taylor. First 2 outs of the inning. Ground balls to Taylor. And back to the top of the order in a scoreless game.
Now batting shortstop, number 10, Marcus Semien.
To just one base runner between these two teams combined once through the order. Curve to the top of the zone, strike 1.
Kershaw against Fires. Who's going to have 6 strikeouts after the first time through the order?
Base hit to left.
The whole world's upside down. Clayton doesn't have a strikeout, given up 2 hits, and Fires has 6 Ks and hasn't given up anything.
Now batting third baseman, number 26, Matt Chapman.
And now it's Chapman, who had the first Oakland hit, ringing single in the first inning.
It's always an interesting cat and mouse game when somebody gets a hit in their first at bat. Does the pitcher get an ego and stick with that curveball, or does he start pitching them differently?
Differently. Strike 1. At least down the first pitch.
Yeah, and I always think the hitter's looking for the opposite pitch, so it's kind of like You're here, you're there. Which place is this guy? I know that he knows, and I know that he knows, and where's it stop? And then it comes down to execution. There is the mystery of what's coming, but if they're guessing the fastball, and Chapman, who hit the curveball, he was all over that fastball there, even a little early, so you know he was looking for it. Supposed to be that close when you're facing a team that doesn't run at all.
Slider for strike 2.
A lot of cardinal sins in baseball, but one of the biggest ones is not having the steal sign. Rarely does your team steal, and getting picked off.
Stopped by Grandal, 1-2. Don't wander too far. Kershaw to Chapman, 1-2. A little dribbler along third that'll stay foul. That Chapman debuted in the majors last June. He was a first-round pick, so they had high hopes for him. They knew that he'd be a good player. But I'm not sure anybody, even his biggest supporters within the athletics organization, thought that he'd be this good this quick. Top 5 in baseball in wins above replacement, which is basically just a category, if you're unfamiliar with it, that tries to put a number on a player's overall value through all phases of the game. He's right there with the biggest stars in the sport.
He's not afraid of the weight room. He's got Steve Garvey forearms. He's got one covered with the sleeve, but left arm. Got some hand strength and some forearm strength.
Fouls it off. We'll do it again. Here are the leaders in WAR. Mike Trout, Jose Ramirez, Mookie Betts, Francisco Lindor, Matt Chapman. Got 4 MVP candidates on there, and Chapman. Hard ground ball cut off by Machado. Get the out at second, and the inning is over. We've played 3 in Oakland, still no score.
The fourth inning, a couple of injury updates for you on a couple of left-handed starters. We'll begin with Hyunjin Ryu, who had a rehab outing, went 5 innings throwing 71 pitches. Dave Roberts said he will likely throw once again in about 5 to 6 days, but wouldn't say whether that would be with the Los Angeles Dodgers or the Oklahoma City Dodgers. So good news there as far as his progress is concerned. Alex Wood throwing in a simulated game earlier today facing Chase Utley, as well as Austin Barnes, still dealing with a bit of that left adductor tendonitis, but he is also making progress, guys, and Ross Stripling, activated off of the DL tomorrow, will make the start in Colorado. So they have some big decisions to make as far as the starting rotation is concerned.
Good problems to have. Strike one on Jock Peterson to open this fourth, with the Dodgers still looking for their first base runner against Mike Fiers. And those decisions could include decisions that start to shape the postseason bullpen.
I think the bullpen will get a little thicker with starters. It might be a little precarious for some guys down in the bullpen. I think they're on the bubble a little bit here, but.
Yeesh. 7 Ks out of the first 10 batters for Mike Fiers.
One thing you have to remember if you're a pitcher and you're maybe the odd man out is September 1 is coming very quickly, so you're not going to be in AAA for long. That is some kind of curveball after seeing all those high fastballs.
Here's Machado. I mentioned does have a home run against Fiers in his career when he was with Baltimore, but struck out his first time. Hits one in the air to deep center, and Laureano settles under for out number 2. Didn't miss it by much.
Cavernous center field here, not only with the distances and the double strength wall out there and the gaps, but just the way the ball carries here at night.
Turner stands in with 2 out. Fiers delivers. Strike one. He's delivered first pitch strikes to 10 of the first 12 hitters. One.
The wry smile from Manny was just, that's a home run, guys, except for here.
Yeah. Park gives up fewer home runs than any other in baseball. You mentioned the Dodgers looking forward to heading to Colorado. Coors Field this year ranked 7th in home run park factor. This place dead last, both ends of the spectrum on this road trip. The 2-1 pitch. Turner takes low and away, ball 3.
Manny Machado and Yasiel Puig discussing not only how hard you have to hit it, but where you have to hit it here to get it out.
These two guys battled in a little home run derby during batting practice today. 3-2.
Justin was irritated in his first at bat on an up and in called strike, and now a little irritated on the 3-1 pitch being called a strike, but both registered in the strike zone.
Mike Fiers is perfect through 4 in his Oakland debut. Justin Turner saying you can't call the high strike and the low strike. And Mike Luczynski firing it right back to him. Dave Roberts set it out there to do his best to protect Turner.
Targets for a strike. The pitch is off the plate.
Dodgers baseball is brought to you by the Southern California BMW Centers. Hurry in today for the BMW Summer On Sales event for exceptional offers. Details at SoCalBMW.com. Back here in Oakland, where the Dodgers got their first win since 2001 in the opener last night by a final of 4-2. And this one, no score as Kershaw misses with the first pitch of the fourth to Jen Lowry. Clayton Kershaw, 307th Major League start tonight. 237 career earned run average. That's the 7th best career ERA of any left-handed pitcher ever, regardless of era. All 6 guys that he trails from the dead ball era before 1920. That's high, and it's 3-0 on Lowry. One of the 6 guys ahead of him is Babe Ruth. 2 are from the Athletics franchise. The franchise's very first decade of existence in Philadelphia. Rube Waddell, Eddie Plank, a couple of Hall of Famers. That's a strike, 3-1. Waddell pitched to a 2.16 ERA in that obviously very pitcher-friendly era. 13 Major League seasons, and then contracted tuberculosis and died at 37. Nice pitch, 3-2. Rube is one of a kind. A lot of times would show up late to starts, or just not show up at all. He'd go fishing on his start day. Kind of did whatever he wanted. He'd go play marbles. That was one of his big things. They'd find him in the town that they were in on his start days playing marbles downtown on the street. It's a pop fly to short right off of the bat of Lowry. And Dozier settles under and catches. 1 away in the 4th. And Rube Waddell was obsessed with fire. So one of the things that he'd do on the road is he'd just show up at the firehouses of the town that they were in and volunteer. Legend has it that he once ran off of the mound mid-start to chase a fire truck down. He saw going by the park, the lights on, figured they could use some help. Not that the team needed him at that point or anything. They go help the firehouse. Here's Chris Davis bumping the first pitch foul. That was Rube Waddell. Eddie Plank is the other former Athletic starting pitcher, left-hander that's one of the all-time greats, even though he came in the dead ball era. Eddie Plank won 326 games. One notch ahead of Nolan Ryan. It's fouled back, and it's 0-2. They said that Eddie, though, is an annoyance in a lot of ways. Really long, drawn-out delivery, routine between each pitch. He'd talk out loud to himself and was always counting down the outs out loud. 9 to go. 9 to go. Let the hitters know. Davis takes it outside, 1-2. And was known for his slant ball, which is basically a fastball thrown with a crossfire delivery. He called it a slant ball. Eddie Plank. It's fading to the seats, even with all the foul ground here. Release into the dugout.
I love the stories about that era and a lot of the other old-time players. But it's like comparing apples and watermelons statistically.
Yeah.
I mean, what Clayton Kershaw does and the work that he puts in and the way the game's played today, completely different than back there in the dead ball era.
Another 1-2. The dirt, ball 2. So what we've talked about before is a good way to compare pitchers across generations is with the statistic ERA plus, which puts them on a scale that takes into account the generation they pitched in. Davis working hard to stay alive. So Plank, 2.35 ERA, one of the 5 best earned run averages of any left-hander ever. But his ERA plus not that impressive. It's just about 20% better than the league average ERA in that day and age. Muscled through a small hole on the left side for a 1-out hit.
Usually guys with this big a swing and they swing this hard can't make mid-swing adjustments, but he did a nice job clearing and getting his hands through first to force that ball through the infield.
Third hit tonight for Oakland, all of them singles. That's 3 more than the Dodgers have through 4 against Mike Fiers. 1 on 1 out, and Mark Canha attacks the first pitch, and it's foul. By ERA plus, just one last note on that, Clayton Kershaw, #1 all time. Inside corner, strike 2. Canha strokes a base hit to center, past a diving Dozier. And they've threaded a couple right through the defense to put him at first and second.
Hit in the right place and hit firmly enough. Clayton has the duck. You cannot tell how close it is to your head when you're on the mound. It makes you flinch.
First chance for either side tonight with a man in scoring position. Matt Olson. Davis is second and Canha at first. Flips one into left field for John Peterson. 2 out.
One of the greatest rivalries in sports is the San Francisco Giants battling the boys in blue during a 3-game series at Dodger Stadium beginning Monday, August 13th. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/tickets.
Up to Piscotty now. And neither one of these teams have been very good with runners in scoring position lately. The A's over their last 10 games averaging less than 4 per game, largely because of problems in these situations. Piscotty trying to change that with 2 out as it kicks away from Grandal, but the runners will hang on, not wanting to run into the final out.
Chris Davis was not anticipating this ball in the dirt. This is something you should really move up in a hurry, and it doesn't hurt as far as him getting to third. What it hurts is the fact that they should have second and third. The trail runner kind of is watching him. That's his cue, not where the ball goes.
Two and up.
Hitters counts in this ballpark are very comfortable if you can find a pitch to get them to hit towards center field.
Strike 1.
It looked like it was supposed to be a slider, but ended up looking like a cutter. Didn't really have that burying action. It did the job.
It seemed like most of them have had that characteristic tonight from Clayton. 2-2.
That was a good one. That was exactly what he wanted. He might be just trying to keep it up kind of waist high to jam him instead of going for the down and in barrier. Functions a little bit more like the cutter, but don't tell Clayton he's throwing a cutter.
No score, 4th inning. First and second, 2 out, and a 2-2. Full count. The runners will get a head start.
A lot of times you throw it 2-2, you can make your adjustment 3-2, so I wouldn't be surprised if he throws the curveball right here again.
Went to the fastball, and Piscotty banged it into center to give Oakland the lead. 2 out, RBI single, scores Chris Davis, 1-0.
Two hits that were on the barrel, and this one's on the handle, but it is elevated enough. Gets it in on the lighter part of the bat almost, breaks the bat, but it's enough for an RBI.
So the 3rd hit of the inning has him at 1st and 3rd, has a run in the bank, and has Ramon Laureano up there. Grandal sets the target inside, and Laureano pushes a fly ball to right. Dozier out. Puig never saw it. 2-0.
Tough sky right now. The lighting in this ballpark is not the best, and Yasiel Puig does not read it off the bat. Dozier made a great effort. Watch Yasiel. He's barely moving. It's like 2.5 steps of trying to find the ball before he's underway.
So it's 2-0. Canna comes in to score. Piscotty goes to 3rd on that play. And the hitter is Lucroy. Ball 1.
Rarely do you see Clayton Kershaw give up 4 hits in an inning. Usually when people score runs off of him, it's a bloop and a blast. He is so tough in these situations over the course of his career. When an inning looks like it could spiral out of control, he's the one that takes control.
Two and 1.
Totally admire his intensity, his competitiveness. Some guys it's a little fake because they have it when they're going good, but all of a sudden a jam or something happens where it should hurt. It almost intensifies him to a greater level, if there is such a thing for him.
That's a 2-1 fly, and Lucroy hits a fly ball to right center field. Yasiel Puig having a hard time locating that one too, it looked like. Not the truest of routes. He's able to get there and end the inning. The A's get the first runs of the night, stringing together 4 singles against Kershaw.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time.
We're going to look at Mr. Fires on the mound. Boy, the fastball has gotten 3 Ks of the 8. He can ride it up the ladder. He's gone down. The changeup's gotten 3 Ks also. The curveball's gotten a couple. But he has really mixed his pitches well and not just tried to finish people off with the 4-seamer up. He's continued to mix the changeup in and the curveball. He has been absolutely perfect.
So what are you changing if you're the Dodgers?
Well, the first pitch fastball is something he absolutely likes to throw, so you could sit on that and attack it. But after that, he wants to expand. I think you got to get a little bit more discipline after the first pitch.
Part of the order. It's Grandal taking ball 1. Grandal struck out in a changeup his first time. And on this 1-0. Pops it up on the infield. But gets out of play. With that strikeout his first time, Grandal is over his last 12 with 7 Ks. One and 2.
Fastball in and then back-to-back changeups. Foul one changeup off and swing it and miss at the next one. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes up around the shoulders with the heater.
That's what he did. Grandal took it. It's only, what, 3 or 4 miles per hour difference between the fastball and the changeup?
Yeah, depending on what fastball it's following. Changeup's around 85.
It's all defying logic. His perfection so far. Grandal turns on it towards the right field corner. That is gone. And so is the perfect game. And so is the shutout. 2-1 in the 5th. #20th of the season for Yasmani Grandal.
Boy, in the first at bat, he swung at a pitch like this and fouled it off. It looked like he kept his hands extra high prior to that swing. Keep the hands up because the barrel's going to be below the hands, so you got to get your hands above the ball, and he did a great job doing that to not pop that ball up.
Similar thing to what happened against Milwaukee last week. Same pitch that he missed earlier in the game. He got in the next at bat and hit a home run off it. 0-2 quickly on Dozier. Fires deals. Breaking ball yanked down the line, foul. Flied weakly to right field. But Scotty charges under this one for the first out. And a home run for Grandal, not just breaking up a perfect game in the shutout here, but the first home run for the Dodgers in 40 innings since Jock Peterson's leadoff homer last Friday night against Justin Verlander.
Number 35, Cody Bellinger.
One away in the 5th for Bellinger. Started him with a changeup. How about this? This is the second time in the last week that Yasmani Grandal has ended a perfect game with a leadoff home run in the 5th inning. Chase Anderson last week against Milwaukee too. That was the time I was talking about where Anderson had gotten him earlier in the game on one pitch. Got the same pitch the next time he saw him and homered.
Well, as a catcher, you're remembering opposing hitters and where their holes are and sequence of pitches, how you got them out. And as a catcher, as a hitter, you do the same thing, adjust back.
Grandal rolls one into the shift. It's knocked down, and he beat it out. Bellinger's speed gets him aboard with one out here in the 5th. Simeon was shifted over there, and without Cody runs, the jungle cost him.
Simeon's giving ground on the ball too as he's going to field it. He's angling back, trying to make that, and then going to his knees with the little bobble. You are not going to get Bellinger.
Throw the base hit.
Yasiel Puig.
And it brings up Puig. I wonder if that would have been ruled a base hit had Grandal not gotten a hit to start the inning.
Would have been interesting, yeah. A lot of times official scores will rule it an error and then watch the game and see if it ends up being the only hit or no hit at all. If that second hit comes, or what could have been ruled the second hit, they go back and change it.
Ball, no strikes on Puig. He's hitting .340 since the 1st of July. Around the disabled list in for the oblique. He was getting very hot before he hurt it, and he's been good since returning. Fires home with a 1-0, and Puig shoots one to deep right center field. Piscotty to the warning track with room. And it just does not fly here.
And some extra special frustration for Yasiel because you watch your own team come up short. Manny Machado's long fly ball, their discussion about where you need to hit it here. He hit it to one of the corners, but just didn't get enough of it.
Muncy went down on strikes his first time. Here he takes ball one. Back-to-back change-ups, 2-0. Nice to see Muncy with a couple borderline takes in his 2 at-bats tonight.
We're so used to him having a good eye, and he's established that reputation. One of the things that really attracted him to scouts when he was an amateur.
Strike one. There's these Oakland days that, of course, drafted him. 2012 out of Baylor in the 5th round. Muncy hits a base hit to right. Bellinger holds on at second. Muncy comes through with a single.
That smile that tells you there is a lot of relief going on when the ball hits the outfield grass. Max with a nice swing, kind of a topspin line drive, and when it's to right field and you're running to first, you feel really good in a hurry. It's right there in front of you. So that's what it feels like.
Chris Taylor.
Seen a few reactions like that last week or so. With Matt Kemp last night, Cody Bellinger last week. First opportunity with runners in scoring position for the Dodgers tonight belongs to Chris Taylor. He's entered into a bit of a slump of his own with his strikeout his first time, 4 for his last 27. Two on, two out, and ball one. After 4 perfect innings, Fires gives up the leadoff home run to Grandal, and he's given up singles to Bellinger and Muncy. Now he delivers 1-0. Hard ground ball to third. Chapman's got it and wins the race to the bag. But the Dodgers on the board, and a home run from Yasmani Grandal, his 20th of the season, cuts the deficit in half. We're halfway home in Oakland. Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by your Southern California Toyota dealers. Get huge savings on a reliable new Camry at Toyota's National Clearance Event. Back in Oakland, where Yasmani Grandal has cut it to 2-1 with a home run. Joe Davis, Or Hershiser, Alana Rizzo, Clayton Kershaw back to work against the top of the order. Ball one on Marcus Semien. 1 for 2 tonight. It's one of the 6 hits the A's have, all of them singles. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, no strikeouts so far for Kershaw. He's given up those 6 hits, no walks. What have your thoughts been of the performance overall through 4?
I think he's pitched very well with his fastball. I think the slider and the curveball have been a little inconsistent. That's why we don't have any strikeouts. He's had to fight through some of these pitch count issues now that he's given up a couple of those 2-out hits. Before the 2-out hits that drove in the run, the pitch count was really under control, and he was pitching to contact and getting a lot of weak contact, but they started to find some holes.
Caught the corner, 2-2. Full count. Chapman and Lowry to follow for the A's here in the 5th. Only game going on in baseball right now. Kershaw's payoff. Ground ball to third for Manny Machado. Starting there tonight with Justin Turner doing the DHing. And Simeon is the first out.
Now batting, third baseman, number 26, Chapman.
Here's Chapman. Nice looking curve, strike one.
Best one of the night.
Fastball misses, 1-1. It's in on Chapman here, and it's fouled back and out of play, 1-2. Chapman out of Southern California. Went to Cal State Fullerton, was a two-way player that threw 98 as a pitcher. Takes in the dirt. It's 2-2. Although the A's never had any intentions of using him as a pitcher. They drafted him strictly as an infielder.
They've clocked his throws across the diamond from third at 95.
So you still get to see that cannon. Takes a curve in the dirt and full count. How about Chapman and Nolan Arenado coming from El Toro High School, Lake Forest? Maybe the two best defensive third basemen in the game. Arenado was 2 years ahead of Chapman.
That is, now that Manny Machado is predominantly a shortstop.
Yeah.
He would be in the conversation if he was playing third.
Another 3-2, and Chapman looks at strike three. Pinpoint with a slider for his first K of the night.
Chapman shaking his head. This ball starts as a ball, but has a little bit of cutting action there. Makes it almost back to the corner. Justin Turner griped about one of these. And it hurts the most when it's the third strike.
2 gone, 5th inning. Here's Jen Lowry, who hits a chopper to Machado. Clayton Kershaw follows up the Dodgers' first run of the night with a 1-2-3 5th. To the 6th we go. 2-1.
Go behind the scenes as Brian Dozier arrives with a bang when he joins the new team in LA. Plus, the team pays tribute to Andre Ethier in an emotional retirement ceremony. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers, presented by Cadillac, Friday after the postgame show on Sportsnet LA.
Third trip through the order for the Dodgers here against Mike Fiers, and a 2-1 game in the 6th. Dodgers hadn't had a base runner through 4 before Grandal opened the 5th with a home run. Jock Peterson pops the first pitch back in on a play. Jock, a Bay Area guy, although grew up a Giants fan, not an A's fan. Ripped to first. Olsen's got it off of bounds for the first out. All things considered for Mike Fiers, very good Oakland debut so far.
Manny Machado.
He's thrown the ball well. He's expanded the strike zone. He's used 3 different pitches to put away the Dodger hitters with his strikeout. Used the ballpark. Center field, pretty tough to get it out.
Manny Machado found out by hitting one deep there, but died on the warning track. Hits this one to left center. Cano towards the gap, watches it hit off the wall. Machado headed for second with a double.
This ball is hit firmly and out front. Again, home run distance, but not here with the conditions. Got a double wall out there you got to clear. Over half of it, and got half the bases.
That's it. And Mike Fiers leaves his Oakland debut up 2-1, but with a tying run in scoring position. He gets a standing ovation as Lou Trevino comes on. It's a season high with the 8 strikeouts, but he leaves with Machado at second. And 1 out in the 6th in a 2-1 game as Lou Trevino comes on. And that 1.16 ERA is 3rd best in baseball.
And over the last 22 1/3, he's given up 1 earned run for a .40. So he's on a roll. And he's going to do it with a fastball that is over 97 with its average. And he will cut it off of that, and the cutter is almost 93 miles an hour.
The rookie on to face Justin Turner. The Tying run in scoring position. He starts him with a cutter and gets strike one. Trevino wasn't even on the opening day roster. Got an opportunity when Yusmeiro Petit's mother passed away. And Petit left for the funeral, so they needed somebody to come up, and Trevino never went back down. He pitched so well. Here's his 0-1. Turner strokes a liner to short, caught by Simeon.
Baseball is a game of adjustments, and Yasmani Grandal made a very good adjustment here tonight. The first at bat where he struck out on a changeup, the 2-2 pitch, was a fastball up around his shoulders that he fouled back. Well, if he continues to swing at that with the same swing, he's either going to foul it back or swing and miss. Well, the next 2-2 pitch he saw was in the next at bat. He made an adjustment. He got on top of it and broke up the perfect game and got the Dodgers their first run.
Now he's got a chance to get him their second run with Machado at second and 2 gone. 2-1 in the 6th inning. Trevino to Grandal. Machado runs and Lucroy doesn't catch it cleanly, so Machado's in standing.
Excellent jump. Only had to worry about the second baseman sneaking in behind him with the defense they're playing with Yasmani. There's only one guy a lot of times with these shifts bluffing you back. If they don't move at all, you could get a really good jump.
1-1. It's Oakland bullpen, its biggest strength. One of the best in baseball all year, especially good since the All-Star break. Nobody better than Trevino, who steps off with Machado dancing his way about halfway to home plate. The Dodger dugout, many of the Dodger fans behind home are asking for a balk. That was the goal. The 1-1. Just misses. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Manny might not steal home, but he definitely brought Chapman a little closer to him, so they're not playing the defense they exactly want to play as he scoots back.
In the dirt, what a stop by Lucroy to keep this a 2-1 game.
97 miles an hour. The ball comes up just a little bit. The way the catcher's gloves are made today, if it hits anywhere near the pocket, the glove folds. It especially folds when it's 97, but if that's near the edges or the webbing, that probably gets away. You got to get that one squarely in the middle.
Dozier due next. 2 gone, 6th inning. A 3-1. Ball 4. And so with men at the corners and 2 out in a 1-run game, here is Dozier.
Now batting, number 6, Brian Dozier.
7 RBIs in his first 6 games with the Dodgers. For strike 1.
98 with some tail about 6-8 inches moving in on him. If he throws the cutter now, it's going to feel like it's a slider because of that original movement on that fastball.
Threw it, and it was tapped foul.
You got 98 miles an hour running on your hands with about 6-8 inches of run, and then you got a cutter that's going away from you about 2 inches, but that's still 12 inches of movement from one way to the other that you got to cover. It's a hard place to get like a 4-inch barrel on it.
Here's an 0-2. Lays off, and Grandal takes second. Now, base hit could give the Dodgers the lead here in the 6th. The 1-2. Bouncing ball right side. Lowry's got it, and the inning is over. So the A's remain in front 2-1 as Trevino comes on and preserves Fire's line.
Time now to look ahead, brought to you by Wells Fargo. The next series probable is a 4-game set in Denver. Ross Stripling looks to be activated off of the disabled list tomorrow. He will go up against Tyler Anderson on Friday. That man right there, Kenta Maeda, going up against John Gray. Walker Buehler gets the game on Saturday against Colorado native Kyle Freeland. And on Sunday, last night's starter Rich Hill will go up against Chad Bettis, guys.
And it's pitcher in a lineup that had carried Colorado to that 20-6 run, which was the best in the National League for the better part of a month. But they've lost 6 of 8, entering that 4-game set. Clayton Kershaw back to the mound with the Dodgers down 2-1. Facing the heart of the order with Chris Davis to lead it off. Kershaw sitting at 84 pitches. Ball one. Davis 1 for 2 tonight. It's one of the 6 hits against Kershaw. All of them singles. JT Chargois starting to warm. Awkward swing, 1-2.
With the open bullpens here in Oakland, Clayton Kershaw, when he comes set or when he walks back, you can hear them throwing, you can see them throwing. It can sometimes inspire you or make you mad.
Sky high pop fly for Brian Dozier. Yeah, not number 1.
Other ballparks, when they're behind the outfield walls, sometimes you can't even see them or hear the guys warming up. If Clayton was in the stretch, he'd be staring right down at the Dodger bullpen. A little extra motivation.
How many are we down to in play? Is it just here in San Francisco?
That I can think of right now.
So obviously at Wrigley they moved the bullpens as part of the recent renovations under the bleachers. Mark Canha with 1 out takes a curve for a strike. chopper that backs up Machado. Flips it across, 2 gone. Kershaw's got the first 2 outs here in the 6th on just 6 pitches. And now Matt Olson to the plate.
Now batting first baseman, number 28, Matt Olson.
Only left-handed hitter in the A's lineup tonight, 0 for 2. Top of the zone, strike 1. Curve just misses low. Two and one. On Olson, who had a huge rookie season last year. Another good year this year, 22 home runs. On a 2-1 pitch, he takes it low, ball 3. Olson down the line towards the pole and foul.
Inside fastball, and he just comes around it, opposite of staying inside it, kind of throwing the barrel at it compared to leading with the hands.
So now payoff pitch goes back to the curve, and he flirts with a foul pole again, but well foul this time. You know what? I think Tropicana Field, the bullpens may still be in play there.
I'm envisioning it, and I don't know if there's a short wall there by him, but or around him, or if they are exposed.
Bouncing ball right side. Chris Taylor to end the inning. That's one place I'm happy not to know very well. The Trop, huh?
Yeah.
2-1 after 6.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time.
That's going to do it for Clayton Kershaw. 97 pitches. Holds the A's to just 2 runs, 1 strikeout. That's the fewest Kershaw's ever had in a start that goes 5+ innings, but he's got his team in position to have a shot here.
Yeah, he battled out there. He didn't really have the put away pitch as far as the slider or the curveball is concerned. The fastball really carried him, but he battled. You know, this was a good battle for him tonight. It wasn't his best and it wasn't his most dominant, but like you said, he gave the Dodgers a chance to win this game.
Try to do it against Oakland's great bullpen. Cody Bellinger ahead of Trevino, 2-0. Cody's 1 for 2 tonight, hitting above 400 over the last week. On base percentage above 500. He's been taking his walks. Power against power. Slashes a base hit against the shift. Leadoff single, Cody Bellinger here in the 7th.
Clayton on the hook for the L right now, but if they can get him a couple of runs, he'll be on the hook for the W.
Number 66.
This is a good start.
Now Puig. Who's hit it hard a couple of times tonight. Lined out to short. And lined out to the wall in right center. Shoulders are loose. To the knees, strike 1. Tying run at first in the 7th. Go ahead run at the plate. Form of Puig. Who swings and misses. 0-2. Had a great batting practice today, Yasiel did. And final round got to really cut it loose. Him and Machado had a little home run derby in that final round. He hit a ball up there where that Xfinity sign is. You know, kind of hard to tell how far that is. It's really, really far. Oh-2. Pops it off the end of the bat on the right side of the infield for Olsen. And first out.
Number 13, Max Muncy.
Well, Muncy singled his last time. After a strikeout in the 3rd. Now facing the hard-throwing Trevino. Ball 1. Here's Trevino's 1-0 pitch. It's got to throw over. Lou Trevino, born in Philadelphia, but his grandparents are from Ecuador, which makes Trevino the first player of Ecuadorian descent ever to play in the majors. It's a swing and a miss here, and it's 1-1. There's one Ecuadorian connection in baseball that precedes him, and it's this man, Jaime Jarrín. Came from there as a teenager. Has been broadcasting Dodger baseball since the team moved to LA. The 1-1. Muncy takes a strike. On a 1-2, Muncy swings. Ground ball to first off of Olsen, whose only play is to step on the bag. Tying run moves into scoring position. And with 2 gone, it's up to Chris Taylor.
Number 3, Chris Taylor.
He's 0 for 2 tonight. Dodgers have only had a few opportunities like this tonight, but they're 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position. And so 2 for 15 in this series. Strike 1 on Taylor.
The Dodgers can push across Bellinger, and Clayton Kershaw goes in the books with a no decision. 6 out of 7 of his no decisions, he would have given up 2 runs or less.
So going to be Chagua for the 7th. One pitch. Taylor lifts one to left center. That ball sinking to tie this game. Taylor drives home Bellinger, and the Dodgers have evened it up with 2 gone in the 7th.
Push it across, and it's the Arco top tier play of the game. Chris Taylor off the end of the bat. Doesn't get all of it, but gets enough of it in the exact right place between 3 fielders. Bellinger crosses the plate. Clayton Kershaw's applause, and he's still now got a chance for a W.
At the very least, off of the hook. So Chris Taylor comes through with 2 gone here in the 7th. And Jack Peterson comes up. And it's against Trevino, who, as you mentioned, had given up just the 1 run over the last month and a half. Jerry's Familia. Good take from Peterson. 1 ball and no strikes. Identical lines from these teams tonight. 2 runs on 6 hits, no errors. The A's getting 2 against Kershaw in the 4th. Dodgers with 1 in the 5th, and now 1 here in the 7th. Peterson hits a chopper to Lowry at 2nd. And the inning is over, but they've tied it at 2. And we stretch in Oakland. Last night was key after Rich Hill's outing, 3 2/3 scoreless innings, and they'll be important again tonight as JT Chagua is the first man in a 2-2 game in the 7th.
A lot of the narrative around the bullpen is they're going to need more arms down there to finish this off and get into October and go deep. But I'll tell you what, they've been performing great lately.
Nobody better than JT Chagua, who had a scoreless inning as part of that last night. Bottom of the order, Piscotty, Laureano, and Lucroy. Starts him with a slider for a strike. Talked about it a couple times, but as JT has continued to put up zeros, he's continued to look more and more confident and has that fire-breathing look about him. That's something that as a manager, when you're trying to find who you can trust down in the bullpen in the big spots, you love to see.
Managers and pitching coaches love to have a feeling that who's coming out of the bullpen is the same guy they saw before. And it's not always about results, but it is about makeup and poise.
Dave Roberts talks about looking guys in the eyes, seeing what he sees when he does that. It's a chopper by the bag foul. Right now, loves what he sees when he looks in JT's eyes. Packed in there like sardines. Looks like September down there.
The modern bullpen is never short on bodies.
Piscotty chops one to Taylor at short, who's been busy tonight. 1 out. Let's go down to Alana.
Guys, coming into this game, the last 2 games, the bullpen has thrown 7 1/3 scoreless innings. They've only given up 2 hits. I talked to Mark Pryor earlier today about the collective group of guys and the success that they've had recently. He said the biggest thing is that they pull for one another. They legitimately have a good time with one another. They are a loose bullpen, a free bullpen, really from innings 1 through 5. Come inning 6, they start to get ready, they get locked in, and they legitimately cheer for one another, despite sometimes a revolving door with a lot of different guys in and out of this pen.
Great stuff, Alana. Laureano cuts and misses. Strike 1. And a blooper of a single his last time up. They made it 2-0 Oakland. Dodgers have rallied to tie it. He swings and misses again. 95 with absurd sink to it. Then the slider backs up, but caught by Machado.
Sliders that don't break are like bad fastballs, and Manny Machado covers the blemish. Gets up, gets it in the glove.
Boy, potentially game-changing play there. Instead of the go-ahead run in scoring position with 1 out, bases empty, 2 out. The 9-hitter Lucroy. It's exactly what the look on JT's face and the reaction said, wasn't it? Ground ball to Taylor. JT Chagua. 1, 2, 3, 7. Let's go to the 8th. Tied at 2. Good ball game going. Tied at 2 to the 8th inning. We check into the studio for a preview of Access Sportsnet Dodgers, presented by your Southern California Ford dealers.
All right, thanks, Joe. A solo bomb by Grandal, and then Chris Taylor coming through with a big 2-out RBI has us tied through 7.
This has got a playoff atmosphere, too, and it's up to the bullpens at this point.
Dodgers trying to win their 3rd in a row. We'll see you guys right after the game.
Skillful head nod, Nomar. Jerry's Familia on in a 2-2 game in the 8th. Pitched in both games in this series now, working a 1-2-3 9th inning last night. He's not given up a run in his first 7 games since he came over in a trade from New York. Manny Machado, strike 1. Bringing double his last time up. Showed off his athleticism, how long he is, making that leaping grab last inning. 1-1. Couldn't lay off. 1-2.
Tremendous movement. This ball starts as a strike but ends up a ball. When he decided to swing the bat or attempt to pull it back, it's too late.
Familia to Machado with a 1-2, and it's in the dirt for ball 2. As a testament to how important that was for the Dodgers to tie the game last inning. When the A's entered the 8th inning with the lead this year, they are 46-0. Only team in baseball that's not lost a game when leading after 7. Tonight, tied after 7. On a 2-2, Machado takes it in the dirt, and the count goes full. Turner and Grandal to follow.
And he's got a nice rhythm in this at bat. I know he had a check swing strike, but it looks like his theory is to make him get the ball up, and he hasn't offered it anything down there except for the 1.
So now payoff. Machado gets his hands in, and it's a soft line out to 3rd. 1 away in the 8th.
He got the ball up, but boy, did it have tremendous movement in on his hands.
Number 10, Justin Turner.
This is a lot of run. Puts it in there on the pine tar.
One gone for Turner. Lined out to short his last time. Slider for a strike.
He's looked really good here in Oakland, like he is really starting to come around. Quality at bat after quality at bat, arguing a few borderline pitches that I think he was right on. So he's seeing it well and he's swinging it well.
On this 0-1 from Familia, he takes it down and away, and the count evens up. Base hit the other way. So the go-ahead run aboard against Familia here in the 8th as Yasmani Grandal comes up. He started the scoring for the Dodgers tonight with a leadoff home run in the 5th, and we take a look at it on StatCast AI, powered by AWS.
Got on top of a high fastball, broke up the perfect game. 100-mile-an-hour out for 1 run.
And then walked his next time up. Tie game 8th inning. Yasmani Grandal takes ball 1 a little bit low. Off of the glove of Lucroy, and the go-ahead run advances into scoring position.
Lucroy made a nice stop with Trevino on the mound. Kind of a low in fastball off the dirt. This one he clanks with Familia out there.
What a chance for the Dodgers here in the 8th. Turner at second, 1 gone. Familia against Grandal. 2 balls and 1 strike. Here it comes. Fouled off. Dodgers are 10-8 since the All-Star break. Middle of a 23-game stretch to open the second half against nothing but contending teams. And an opportunity to sweep a 2-game series from the hottest of the bunch in the A's. On a 2-2, Grandal strikes out swinging. Familia able to bury that breaking ball to the back foot. 2 out.
Some electric stuff right here, and that ball is firm and sharp.
Number 6, Brian Dozier.
Up to Dozier, who's 0 for 3. Turner with a 1-out single, took second and a pass ball. Dozier taking strike 1. Boy, that ball just moves a ton, doesn't it?
It sure does. And when it ends up on a corner, wow. This ball starts right down the middle. Laces that inside corner.
It's got changeup action to it. It's 97. Tries to go to the other corner, cutting it at 99. This misses by an eyelash. 1-1. What an addition this guy is, bolstering this already very good bullpen. Here's Familia's 1-1. Dozier can't lay off a slider. 1-2.
First fastball, he's on the left side of the ball, makes it run. The next one, he was behind it, made it go straight at 99. And that one, he was on the right side of the ball and slid it across the plate.
Able to stay alive, just nicking that ball. Still 1-2 on Dozier.
It almost feels like that if he doesn't make a mistake in the middle of the plate, it's going to be very hard to hit the ball. 97 and above, going in two different directions as far as the fastball. The slider go down to 90 miles an hour, make it go right to left and go down.
Tied at 2, 8th inning. Turner off of second with 2 out. And a 1-2. Dozier fouls it again.
One to hit, but still had tremendous movement.
Another 1-2.
Roy thinking, boy, it was a lot easier when the starter was out there. He maxed out at 90, 91. Maybe he threw one ball at 93.
There's some electric stuff out of this A's bullpen. Dozier calmly waits on a 2-2 pitch. Here it comes. Pop back and out of play. Turner was running with a pitch. We'll do the 2-2 again.
This is like the pitch that Manny Machado popped up to third on, just running completely across the plate at 98. Turner gets to third, and count goes to 3-2. With this kind of stuff, you could nub one off the end of the bat and hit a dribbler infield single. It's worth it trying to get to third.
With the game on the line, Dozier battling, ready for the 8th pitch from Jerry's Familia. Got it. Went back to that slider and buried it. Throw down finishes him off. To the bottom of the 8th, still tied at 2. You heard?
What happened?
They got LeBron James.
Oh, yeah.
Huge
I
news.
did hear that.
Top of the order for Chagua. And Semien laces a base hit to left center on the first pitch of the 8th.
Lakers are a nation again.
Yeah.
And they have a new president.
Well, JT Chagua has pitched more than an inning just 3 times this season.
Number 26.
Only once since the first month. But he needed just 9 pitches for a 1-2-3 7th, and so no concerns running him back out there. And nobody warming in the pen behind him. Tied at 2 in the 8th, and Matt Chapman stands in. Ball 1.
Tie game, late innings, second inning for you. It's a tightrope. You know, any mistake, any run could cost you the game.
Still no action. Good lead for Semien at first, not running. And it's 3 balls, no strikes on Chapman. Won't be long before that bullpen begins to stir. Strike 1.
It was a ball out of his hand, but tremendous movement to have that ball come back and catch part of the plate.
He's battled back to make it full on Chapman.
Fastball's up in this inning. It's got run. When it's down, it's got good sink. I like the one down. Get a possible double play ball to hit the top of it.
Semien runs on a ground ball foul. On with a slider.
That's tremendous growth for JT. He has really defaulted. Before he went down to AAA and needed to regroup, he would default to the 2-seamer and almost overthrowing it. This is more of a finesse pitch for a guy who goes at it all out with that game face. So for him to back off and throw that good solid slider for a strike right there is a very good sign.
Semien goes again. Line drive center field. Bellinger will catch it. Loads up. Fires to first. Offline. Semien able to get back. 1 out.
It'd have been bang bang, but he had a shot if he unleashes his cannon and it's accurately. Gets a nice running start because of the humpback line drive. It just kind of pulls it into the ground. Definitely want to keep it down really low. You don't want to overthrow first and all of a sudden have a runner in scoring position. Very nice deep by Brian Dozier.
Yeah, he sold that baby, didn't he?
Like we said, a young Chase Utley out there as far as the details of the game.
1 on 1 out. Jen Lowry takes a ball. We talked about that during the pregame show. Brian Dozier coming up in Mississippi idolized Chase Utley. And now he finds himself with a locker right next door to Chase's at Dodger Stadium. Lowry snaps an 0 for 16 with a base hit to right. Puig's throw is cut off, and they're at the corners with 1 out.
Very rarely do you see somebody go first to third on Yasiel Puig's arm. Lowry gets this off the end of the bat, a little topspin. Yasiel shaded around more to the right center gap, so having to run to his left and throw to his right. Not going to be enough on the throw to cut down Simeon.
Dylan Floro has started to warm for Dave Roberts. The whole infield up on the mound, perhaps buying him a little more time. With Chris Davis coming up.
Now batting, designated hitter, number 2, Chris Davis.
Boom or bust, Chris Davis. As many home runs as anybody, but a lot of strikeouts as well. Boy, could JT use one here. Ball 1.
That was his best fastball since he's been in a jam. Cut that one loose. Was very aggressive, taking that down the hill. Some very good intent with that pitch.
Simeon at third, Lowry at first. Chagua with a 1-1 to Chris Davis. That's strike 2. Challenged him again with a fastball.
That one was overthrown. They wanted it down and in. They got it up and got it by him. Take the gift and now make one more pitch. Got a chance to get out of this with a double play or a strikeout.
Sticking fastball, or do you go to the slider?
If he chased that high one right there, I'll go back up the ladder to set up the slider or the two-seamer in.
A 1-2. Foul back.
Okay, they were going down again, and he missed up, and he got it fouled back. I think you go up above that. Above where he holds his hands. He cradles those hands right there around letter high, and you see where they end up coming, dropping down to where his number 2 is. Get above that number 2 to set up. I use it as a setup pitch for the 2-2 and the 3-2 pitch.
Stand down. Fouled again. You hold your breath. With Chris Davis at the plate, having homered in 3 consecutive games.
You got to remember about the last couple pitches. If the count is 1-2, you don't have to make a perfect pitch.
Now setting up down and away.
Walk him off the plate.
Went to the slider and he was just able to stay alive.
Great pitch. Absolutely great pitch. Not overthrown, just making sure you hit your spot and it has a big break to it. Everything that's been waist high or above, he's fouled back. Can you go a little higher than that and get him to swing and miss, especially because he had to lean out for that last one.
Doubled up on the slider. This one missed. 2-2.
When you see a ball that backs up that much, a slider and a big count, you know it was overthrown. Too much effort. Actually, you really just want to try and take a little off, which gets him farther out in front. Make sure it goes right to left out there.
It's the most pitches Chagua has thrown in an outing this year. This will be the 8th to Chris Davis. Back to the slider. Bounce to third. Machado coming home. In time. Now they say safe. The ball came out. Buchlinski punched him out at first and then saw that he didn't have the ball. And the A's have taken a 3-2 lead.
You catch it, you reach around for the tag. It doesn't mean the ball is securely in your glove, and then the impact jars it loose. Was it ever in the glove? I'm not sure it was ever in the glove. Is it resting in front of home plate? Yeah, it pops out right away.
Oakland's taking the lead in the 8th. Floro coming on.
Your attention, please.
Yesterday struck out the only hitter he faced as far as inherited runners and shutting down this rally, keeping it at 1 down. 13 inherited runners, 5 have scored.
Tough one for JT to swallow there. He's engaged in a long battle with Chris Davis. Got him to bounce softly to third. Machado came home with it. Pretty good throw, and they would have had him. Tag had gotten there on Simeon in time, but the ball wasn't in Grandal's glove. Nick Martini pinch hitting for Mark Cannon. Ball 1. So the Dodgers are going to have to deal with Blake Trinan, #1 ERA in baseball. Bellinger, Puig, and Muncy the do-ups. Barnes, Hernandez, and Kemp on Dave Roberts' bench tonight. Strike 1 from Floro.
The A's will not start their runner, so the double play is still in order.
Full count. Nope, not running. Got him swinging. So Floro is able to battle back after falling behind 3-0 to strike out Martini and 2 away in the 8th.
Tremendous comeback. 2 fastballs away for balls. The fastball in. Buries a couple right down the middle and beats him to the spot.
And Matt Olson with 2 on and 2 out. Fouls it back, and it's 0-1. The A's have 8 hits in this game, all of them singles. You got 2 runs against Kershaw in the 4th, and then the 1 run here in the 8th against Jaguar. Cuts inside, ball on a strike.
As far as the Dodger offense is concerned, the sting of giving up the go-ahead run is kind of subsided. Get this guy out. You feel a little momentum when you hit the dugout.
Floro to Olson with a 1-1. Olson hacks it foul, and it's 1-2. Here's a 2-2 pitch that buzzes him inside. The count goes full, and the runners will get a head start for Oakland. And Olson with an opportunity to get them some insurance.
Fielders will be throwing the ball to first with the runners moving, unless it's something hard hit to Chris Taylor where he can just step on second.
There they go. Here it comes. Bouncing ball. And it's Taylor stepping on second. But the A's have taken the lead. And it's Blake Trinan on for the 9th inning. Bellinger, Puig, and Muncy coming up. Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by your SoCal Land Rover retailers. Well, if the Dodgers are going to get the job done in the 9th inning, it'll come against the game's best here in 2018. Blake Trinan with a 0.95 ERA that leads all major league relievers.
See the 28 for 32 on saves and opportunities. But he has been really good, like the rest of this bullpen of late. 19 of the last 21 outings, no runs.
And only 6 runs total this year in 57 innings of work. For the guy that was acquired at the deadline last year for their former closer, Sean Doolittle. Came over from Washington. He'll face Bellinger, Puig, and Muncy in a 1-run game. Strike 1. Sinking it in there at 99. Bellinger's starting to show signs of coming out of his slump. 2 more hits tonight. Takes it high, 1-1. It's on to Denver after this one. 4-game series with the Rockies starting tomorrow. On a 1-1 pitch, Cody Bellinger takes a strike on the corner, 1-2. And he threw his first breaking ball, and Bellinger took it.
Fastball, cutter, slider. The last pitch was the slider.
Two. Cutter inside, full count.
Cody's laid off 2 of the problem pitches that have haunted him in slumps. The breaking ball down and in that he swings over top of, and that cutter or fastball waist high that he misses. 2 solid takes, both of those.
And now payoff. Got it. Couldn't lay off this time.
Visually, this one's a strike for a long time. If it's a 2-seamer and coming back, it's going to be right down the middle. If it's a breaking ball like that, you miss it.
Now batting, number 66, Yasiel Puig.
Oakland 3, the Dodgers 2. 1 out in the 9th. Here's Puig. One and all. Two balls, no strikes on Puig. Strike 1. After Puig gets Muncy. The A's breaking the 2-2 tie with a run in the bottom of the 8th. Dodgers trying to solve Trinan, who delivers 2-1 and misses. 3-1 on Puig.
This could set up as Max Muncy come back and beat his old team.
Yeah.
We get on. Muncy find that home run stroke.
I'm all for it. On a 3-1. Puig fouls it off, strike 2.
Looking for a happy plane ride to Colorado.
Puig takes the walk. Not impressed, Yasiel. Tying run reaches. Max Muncy comes up representing the go-ahead run.
Now batting, number 13.
Yasiel takes the
Max
walk and
Muncy.
kind of glances out there like, come on, man, let's go strength against strength. Challenge me.
Muncy 1 for 3 tonight. 5 for his last 45. He would love nothing more than to get it going in a big way against the team that dumped him. Trinan's first one. Muncy takes low, ball 1. They gave Muncy his shot, 2 years of time in the majors, and then cut him loose at the end of spring training last year. They wanted to give other prospects an opportunity, and Max was in the way at that point. That tails into the zone, 1-1. Dodger fans by now know the rest of the story. Farhan Zaidi gave him a call. Big year in AAA. Big year in the majors to follow it. Fouled off, 1-2.
First strike was one that he would have loved to hit. He didn't, but he got another one a little higher right there. He's had 2 pitches. One he offered at, fouled back.
Puig runs. Muncy grounds one to first, so they stay out of the double play. Olsen steps on the bag. Tying run into scoring position, and it's up to Chris Taylor.
Now batting, number 3, Chris Taylor.
Taylor came up in the same spot in the 7th with the Dodgers down a run and 2 outs. Fought off an inside pitch to tie the game.
The 51st RBI of the year, and this one found the triangle and dropped in. Cody Bellinger delivered the mail, and it put a smile on everybody's face.
Dodgers only hit tonight with runners in scoring position. Can he be the man again to keep the night going? Trinan against Taylor. Strike 1.
Outstanding bullpen here in Oakland, and they give up a lot more blooped hits. So Oakland outfield is really pinched in, playing for that same type of ball that Taylor hit in his last at bat.
Good arm in left, great arm in center, good arm in right. 0-1. Puig runs. A pop fly to short right. Lowry's out to make the catch, and the game is over. These teams split the 4 games this season. They split the 2-game series here in Oakland as the A's take this finale 3-2.
Last 5 games have felt like October. 2 out of 3 losses at home to Houston felt intense, and here a split. The intensity rages on.
Time for the play of the game, brought to you by Lexus. This is the game-winning play for Oakland. It looked like Manny Machado had cut down Marcus Semien at the plate, but Grandal was unable to hold on to it. And that is the winning run.
It's there in time, but it's just not in the glove.
So the road trip continues to Denver. Going to be a long night for these Dodgers, who will dust themselves off and get